Good morning, Mixed Greens fans and supporters. For today's beloved community segment, I will be reading Letters from a Birmingham Jail, written by Dr. Martin Luther King Jr. on April 16, 1963. My dear fellow clergymen, while confined here in the Birmingham City Jail, I came across your recent statement calling our present activities unwise and untimely. Seldom, if I ever do, pause to answer criticism of my work and ideas. But since I feel that you are men of genuine goodwill and your criticisms are sincerely sent forth, I would like to answer your statement in what I hope will be a patient and reasonable terms. I think I should give the reason for my being in Birmingham jail, since you have been influenced by the argument of outsiders coming in. I have the honor of serving as president of the Southern Christian Leadership Conference, an organization operating in every southern state with headquarters in Atlanta, Georgia. We have some 85 affiliate organizations across the South. Several months ago, our local affiliate here in Birmingham invited us to be on a call to engage in a nonviolent direct action program, if such were deemed necessary. We readily consented. In any nonviolent campaign, there are 4 basic steps. Number 1, collection of the facts to determine whether injustices are alive. Number 2, negotiations. Number 3, self-purification. And 4, direct action. We have gone through all of these steps in Birmingham. Birmingham is probably one of the most thoroughly segregated cities in the United States. Its ugly record of police brutality is known in every section of the country. Its unjust treatment of Negroes in the courts is a notorious reality. There have been more unsolved bombings of Negro homes and churches in Birmingham than in any city in this nation. These are the hard and brutal facts and unbelievable facts. On the basis of these conditions, Negro leaders sought to negotiate with the city fathers, but the political leaders consistently refused to engage in good faith negotiation. Then came the opportunity last September to talk with some leaders of the economic community. In these negotiating sessions, certain promises were made by the merchants, such as the promise to remove the humiliating racial signs from the stores. On the basis of these promises, Reverend Shuttlesworth and the leaders of the Alabama Christian movement for human rights agreed to call a moratorium on any type of demonstrations. As the weeks and months unfolded, we realized that we were the victims of broken promises. The signs remain. As in so many experiences in the past, we were confronted with the blasted hopes and the dark shadow of a deep disappointment settled upon us. So we had no alternative except that preparing for direct action whereby we would present our very bodies as a means of laying our case before the conscience of the local and national community. We were not unmindful of the difficulties involved, so we decided to go through the process of self-purification. We started workshops on nonviolence, repeatedly asked ourselves the question, are you able to accept the blows without retaliating? Are you able to endure ordeals of jail? You may well ask, why direct action? Why sit-ins? Why marches, etc.? Isn't negotiation a better path? You are exactly right in your call for negotiations. Indeed, this is the purpose of direct action. Nonviolent direct action seeks to create such a crisis and establish such creative tension that a community has constantly refused to negotiate is forced to confront the issue. My friends, I must say to you that we have not made a single gain in civil rights without legal and nonviolent pressure. History is the long and tragic story of the fact that privileged groups seldom give up their privileges voluntarily. Individuals may see the moral light and give up their unjust posture. But as Reinhold Niebuhr said, Groups are more immoral than individuals. We know through painful experience that freedom is never voluntarily given by the oppressor. It must be demanded by the oppressed. Frankly, I have never yet engaged in direct action movement that was well timed according to the timetable for those who have not suffered unduly from the disease of segregation. For years now, I have heard the word wait. It rings in the ear of every Negro with a piercing familiarity. This wait has almost meant never. It has been a tranquilizing formaldehyde, relieving the emotional stress for a moment, only to give birth to an ill-formed infant of frustration. We must come to see it. With the distinguished jurists of yesterday, that justice too long delayed is justice denied. We have waited for more than 340 years of our constitutional God-given rights. The nations of Asia and Africa are moving with jet-like speed towards the goal of political independence, and we still creep at horses and buggies pace towards gaining a cup of coffee at a lunch counter. I guess it is easy for those who have never felt the stinging darts of segregation to say wait. But when you have seen vicious mobs lynch your mothers and fathers at will, drown your sisters and brothers at whim, when you have seen hate-filled policemen curse and kick, brutalize, and even kill your black brothers and sisters with impunity, when you see the vast majority of our 20 million Negro brothers smothering in an airtight cage of poverty in the midst of an affluent society, when you suddenly find your tongue twisted and your speech stammering as you seek to explain to your 6-year-old daughter why she can't go to the public amusement park that has just been advertised on television, and see the tears welling up in her little eyes when she is told that Funtown is closed to colored children, and see the depressing clouds of inferiority begin to form in her little mental sky, and see her begin to distort her little personality by unconsciously developing a bitterness towards white people. When you have to concoct an answer for a 5-year-old who is asking in agonizing pathos, "Daddy, why do white people treat colored people so mean?" When you take a cross-country drive and find it necessary to sleep night after night in the uncomfortable corners of your automobile because no motel will accept you. When you are humiliated day in and day out by nagging signs reading white men and colored, when your first name becomes nigger and your middle name becomes boy, however old you are, your last name becomes John, and when your wife and mother are never given the respect of the title mistress, when you are hurried by day and haunted by night by the fact that you are a Negro, living constantly at tiptoe stance, never quite knowing what to expect next, and plagued with the inner fears and outer resentments, when you are forever fighting a degenerating sense of nobodiness, then you will understand why we find it difficult to wait. There comes a time when the cup of endurance runs over and men are no longer willing to be plunged into the abyss of injustice, where they experience the bleakness of coordinating despair or corroding despair. I hope, sirs, you can understand our legitimate and unavoidable impatience. This is part 1 of Letters from a Birmingham Jail, and it comes from the Bill of Rights Institute. This will be on the YouTube page for Mixed Screens. I will be posting part 2 of Letters from a Birmingham Jail later on this week. Thank you and have a nice day.